Oh, heck, it's freezing in here. Oh, it's a little money spider. Oh, stay in here, money spider. Be happy and safe. Good morning. Oh, dull background again. Let's give you the frou-frou. How you all doing? Hope you're well. Welcome to Sunday morning in my world, which is Monday morning in your world. And as we know, it's Q&A Sunday. I have printed off the questions today because it's raining and soggy and foggy and horrible out there, and I didn't want to bring my laptop outside, so I printed them off instead. So how are you all? Everybody good? Everyone enjoying this crazy world? I am so chilly, man. Brr. So let's just get straight on into it, shall we? So Sharon wanted to know, what Canon do I use? So it's a good question because I've got a few. So for my food photography, I use the Canon 6D, which is a pretty heavy duty camera, and I absolutely love it. And I own one lens, and it's a nifty 50, and it's the 50mm 1.4, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I don't like a lot of kit. I don't like a lot of things to do with tech. It stresses me out. It gives me anxiety, weirdly. I know. So I like to keep things as simple as possible. I also have the Canon G7X, G7X, I think, which I bought for vlogging, and I don't love it. As you can see, I'm not actually using it. I'm using my phone. The Canon G7X is, I mean, the camera part is fine, but there's no audio input jack hole. So I can't plug a microphone into it, and the sound is a bit crappy. So I kind of don't really use that anymore. It does have a flip out screen, which is kind of handy for when you're doing this. So you can actually make sure make sure that your frou-frou's in the shot. I also have a GoPro Hero, I don't know, 4 silver. I don't know. That's what I've used for the last 2-3 years in the van. So up there on the door, I kind of oik it up there. Because it's got a nice wide shot on it. Terrible sound on that. I think that's all my camera gear. And what I'm finding for these daily vlogs is that I just love shooting video with a phone, because it's so damn easy. There's no memory cards to worry about. There's no batteries to take in and out and charge. The phone is always in my pocket. The phone is always charged. If I go in for a coffee, I don't even think, I just plug the phone in and top up the juice on it. It's just so easy. And I think doing these daily vlogs has made me realise that I can be a hell of a lot less precious than I was about audio and about video, because phones are so good now. And especially in this series, because it's all about, this is a hell of a commitment. I'm recording this, and I think this is day 41 of our lockdown here in the UK, which means I've put a video out every single day for 41 days. Like, way to go me. That's a hell of a lot of work though, in the recording and in the editing. So I just need to keep the whole process as simple and childlike as possible. I have been looking at getting a new vlogging camera with a decent audio setup. I might not even go down that road now. I might just stick to a smartphone. And it's not like I'm making documentary style YouTube videos that people will still be watching in 10 years. I mean, let's be honest, they're just me wittering on about chicken poo. It's not scintillating stuff at the end of the day. Okay, Penny wants to know, she says, I've recently bought a ridge monkey to go in the van. Do you have any £1 meals you could make to go in it, apart from cheese and onion toasties? I'm guessing you're a little sick of cheese and onion toasties, Penny. So I don't own a ridge monkey, and the reason that I don't own a lot of these very cool toys that campervanners use is because I want to keep my recipes really accessible to anyone that camps. So whether they're 17-year-old and they're going to their first festival and they've got a tiny little millets camping pot, cooking pot kind of thing, do you know what I mean? I don't want to limit who can make my recipes in case they don't have that piece of kit, if that makes sense. But saying that, I have played with ridge monkeys before, and they are very cool. For those that don't know, a ridge monkey is a flat pan, and it's hinged, and it's got, how do I even explain this? Let's use this as a prop. So it's a flat pan on one side, it's a flat pan on the other side with a handle here, kind of looks a bit like a weird frying pan, and you lift up this handle which lifts it up. Am I explaining this well? And then you cook in there, and then say you put your bacon in there, and then you close the top lid down, and then you cook that side, and then you just flip the whole thing over and you cook the second side. So it's really clever. So I have played with them, and they are quite cool. And yeah, I would definitely recommend getting one of those. So I can't really help with actual recipes for it because, like I say, I don't own one. However, I have heard of people making pizzas in them. Quesadilla, definitely. I mean, that's dead easy. One of my friends recently made a roast dinner for 2 in 1, which is pretty impressive. I don't remember what he included in his roast dinner, but he did share a photo on Instagram. What else? Pancakes is a good one. Chips. I have cooked chips in a Ridge Monkey, and they were really good, actually. But I have to be honest, I then went and cooked them in a frying pan, and equally as good. So there you go. What I will say though, Penny, is if you're on Facebook, I don't remember if I've seen you over there or not. If you are on Facebook, there are Facebook groups devoted to Ridge Monkey recipes, and I did stick my head in there once and just got bamboozled by it all, so left. But definitely go and have a little look-see through them. Mary, farming question. She says, you don't talk about mulch and you keep growing the grass between your potato rows. What is your theory behind the whole thing? Oh, Mary, you're way more clever than I am. So my theory behind the whole thing is that Johnny rotivated the old chicken run where we planted the potatoes, and he planted the potatoes too. So I just kind of picked up the reins at this point. Johnny didn't realise when he rotivated, when he planted, that you needed to earth up potatoes. So that's why there's grass and weeds growing in between each row. I don't think we've got enough room in between each row to push the rotavator through. I may be wrong, and I might see if Johnny can go and do that at some point. But yeah, we don't have any mulch to put on them currently. And we don't, as you've seen, I'm really struggling to have enough soil to pull up on the plants, especially because they're growing so hard. Oh my Lord. And interestingly, who was it? I forget your name. I'm really sorry. But somebody left a comment on I think the most recent potato-y video, and her husband is a potato grower. So thank you for your advice. I really appreciate that. In answer to your question, the potato varieties are Estima and Maris Piper. Those are the ones that were growing in there. So if hubby could please give us any more information on how we could balance out or neutralise the amount of nitrogen in the soil from all that chicken poo that's decomposing, thank you. I would appreciate that. And to everyone else that doesn't know what on earth I'm talking about, my potatoes are growing really, really quickly above ground. I have no idea, obviously, what's going on underneath the ground. And it's been suggested that's because they've gone into a run that had a lot of chicken poo on over the last 5 or 6 years. So it's very, very rich soil. It's very full of nitrogen, which might be causing a problem. So I just want to know if there's any way that I can balance them out now that they're all planted. And yes, we should have researched this more. Did we? No. Did we, Eckers like? Mary had a second question. Do you have a rooster? No. We have had roosters over the years, and I love roosters. And we might still get one again in the future, but right now, no, we don't. How can that one chicken have fertilised eggs? What's the word you are using? Brody. Okay, so a broody hen, B-R-O-O-D-Y. A broody hen is one that basically is in maternal mode and will sit there for a month and hatch out little eggs. Little babies, not little eggs. I don't think you can hatch out little eggs. Anyway, so those 3 eggs that you saw me mark with the Sharpie, then I didn't explain this really well. I'm very sorry. So they're not fertile. We do not have a rooster. Those eggs are infertile. A chicken could sit on them for the next 3 years and they would not hatch. There is no male input into those eggs. So the reason that I've marked them and left them in the nest, I've left them as kind of a sacrificial offering, if you like. So a hen, in my experience, a hen will only go broody when she sees an egg in a nest, preferably a few eggs in a nest. And it kind of triggers something in the back of her little chicken brain that she needs to go and sit on them and become broody. Now, as I said, those brown hens that we've got, the Lomans, they've had broodiness bred out of them over the generations. They are egg laying machines. That is what they're used for. You wouldn't use that chicken, that breed of chicken, as a table bird, so for eating. You wouldn't use that breed of chicken for hatching eggs. They're not broodies, they're not meat birds, they are pure laying hens. Jet and pheasant, the 2 that aren't Lomans, they are both a different breed, and as I've said before, pheasant has gone broody maybe 3 or 4 times in her life since we've had her, and we've never let her hatch eggs, because we used to hatch ducklings, quail, turkey, chickens, the whole shebang. We've hatched tons of little birds over the years, which has been great fun. But we've more recently been in a place where we don't have the time or energy for that, and we kind of, also our income has increased, so now I can go and buy the poultry at the quality I like. I don't have to necessarily do it myself, which has been very nice. So we've never given pheasant fertile eggs to hatch. So I don't know if she'd make a good mother, and she's quite old now, so she might not have it in her anymore. No idea. So no, those eggs aren't fertile. They were purely sacrificial. So I'm hopefully going to tempt somebody to go broody, just so I can stick those blue pheasant eggs underneath the chicken, because I fancy having a pet pheasant. Don't ask. I think lockdown might be getting to me. Sue says, please may we see Jet tomorrow, pretty please. Oh, I'm sorry, because today I've just published that whole Loo Island video. There was no Jet in this. There's not going to be any Jet in this, because even if I could get out, you wouldn't actually see her, because it's so foggy out there. So tomorrow, Sue, I promise I will give you all the Jet love. She also says, I didn't know you could roast radishes or Brussels sprouts. Do you add oil if you're not cooking them with meat? Yeah, absolutely. Just a tablespoon or so of oil in the bottom of the pan. Roll the radishes or the sprouts, or both. Just roll that round in the oil, and then season them if you fancy with some salt, pepper. Steak seasoning's really nice on them. Herbs, if there's some herbs that you fancy. Definitely. So delicious. Roasted Brussels sprouts are my absolute favourite. Oh, they're my favourite vegetable. Did you know that about me? Interesting point. Brussels sprouts and broccoli, those are my two favourite veggies. I love them. Which reminds me, I haven't had broccoli for a long time. But when you roast, I love sprouts steamed, not boiled. I'm not in that camp of soggy Brussels sprouts, but I prefer them roasted, because you can get more flavour on them than when they're just steamed. Oh, they're so yummy. And they're really good low carb or keto as well. And in that case, when I'm on full on keto mode, I would just have a bowl of Brussels sprouts that have been seasoned and roasted. And then I'd just put a little pat of butter on the top and just let that seep down through them. Oh, I'm telling you, it's so delicious. Sarah says, how do you make chili flakes? So Sarah, good question. So I grow my own chilies. I dry my own chilies. I've got a dehydrator, so I split them in half lengthways, open them out, and then stick them in the dehydrator until they're crispy. So you would pick one up and it would be so crispy that it would just snap. Then all you do is let them cool down to room temperature, and then put them in a Ziploc bag or something and just crunch the bag up with your hands, and they'll just shatter into tiny little pieces. You can also pulse them in a food processor. That would do the same thing if you didn't want to waste a plastic bag, which would be very good of you. So yeah, and that's that. And then if you wanted to turn that into chili powder, then you just put them in a blender or a food processor and grind until they're super fine. Taffy says, bacon, smoked or unsmoked? Oh, Taffy, really? Is this even a question? Smoked? And if you're in the unsmoked camp, we probably can't be friends. Scooby-Loo, do you use your camera just for food photography, or do you take landscapes of the beautiful Cornish countryside? Oh, I'm not good at landscapes. I don't actually like landscapes. I don't like shooting landscapes. That's the correct answer to that. My brain doesn't like it. I am quite enjoying doing landscape shots for these videos. I find them quite pleasing, but just a static landscape image, my brain's not interested. I'm very impatient as a photographer, I'm very impatient full stop actually, but that's why I like food, because I'm in total control of every step of that, which I like. And you have to work pretty damn quick with food, especially if you're doing ice cream or I don't know, something that could melt or start to look greasy as it cools or something like that. And I like that. I tend to run my life at full steam ahead. So yeah, I just want to get the job done really. I do also love shooting portraits, and I especially love shooting portraits of women that hate having their photo taken, because that was me for most of my life. I hated having a camera anywhere near me, and now look at me. Ugh, crazy stuff. But I love giving women the confidence and kind of teaching them a little bit on just okay, stop freaking out. Just this is what, do this, and this. Just look at this bit here and just let me see you I don't want to see the fear or the embarrassment or the, oh my God, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, I'm too old, I'm too wrinkly, I'm too grey, I don't want any of that. I want you. And just coaxing that non-fear out of a woman and then producing a photo that she's proud of, that might even be the first photo of herself that she's ever had joy in looking at. That, in another world, if I decided I didn't like food anymore, I think that's what I would do. I would shoot women, not with a gun, with a camera. I would shoot women that don't like having their photos taken. It'd probably be a terrible business, because obviously I'd never get any customers because they wouldn't want their photo taken. But I do get a lot of pleasure in that. The 1200 Sportster, I never know how to say your YouTube name. And there's obviously something clever in there that I'm missing. The 1200 Sportster? The 1200 Sportster? I don't know. You? What am I missing? What is that? Sassy's outside in the rain, squeaking to come in. Anyway, the 1200 Sportster says, why not grate your own cheese, then put it into 1 portion serving bags? Good question. 2 reasons I don't do that. 1, I never know what a portion size is going to be, because I tend to bulk cook. So that means that I'm not just going to, like if I was doing a lasagna or a cottage pie, I'm not just going to make 2 portions, 1 for me, 1 for Johnny for dinner. That ain't how I roll. I make like 8 portions and then I portion them up and then I freeze them. And it's just to do with what ingredients, like how much mince and how many potatoes, that kind of thing. How much stuff I've got in, how much can I bang in this pan, how much can I use up. So I wouldn't know what 1 portion was, because it changes. And that's why I like to dry freeze things, so I can just go into a freezer bag and grab out a handful of whatever it is. And secondly, why not put into 1 portion serving bags, is because that whole plastic waste thing. If I use 1 big bag and I fill it up, and I've even reused those bags as well. So if that bag of grated cheese was getting low, then next time I had a block of cheese to grate, I would just chuck it in on top. It's not going to go bad. It's frozen. It's completely safe. And it just helps the planet just a little bit. Oh, I've gone back to Sharon. Sorry, she's the one that asked about the Canon. What Canon do I use? She also has a coffee addiction, and thanks to me, she's now obsessed with her AeroPress. Yay! Welcome to the AeroPress Club. She's just discovered the inverted method. Do I use it that way? No, I don't. And if anyone doesn't know, oh, we've got a cup. Damn, we're clever. That's how I use, like, that's the traditional, that's how I use an AeroPress. So the inverted method is you make coffee like that in there, and then you put the filter on and let it brew like that, and then I think you do that, and then you make your coffee. I just find that all too sketchy. Like, that's gonna fall over. I'm not the unclumsiest person in the world, and it's like rarely level, so that's just way too wonky for my liking. No, I like, there's more stability. I like a bit of stability in the AeroPress. Is that everybody's questions? No. Oh, God, I'm all over the shop. Penny, the last that asked me about the Ridge Monkey, also asked where Johnny got his solar fan from. If you pop back to that video where we did Johnny's van tour, somebody else asked in the comments where he got his fan from, and he did leave a link or a name or something. So yeah, go back and read through the comments. There, it is dropped in there. I think that's it. That's it. Yay. What are we on? 20 minutes. Beautiful timing. Now, before we go, so yesterday afternoon when I filmed the island video, which I really enjoyed shooting that. I don't know if you're going to enjoy it though. It's kind of a weird one, but I really enjoyed making it. So, tough. I had the rest of the day off, and it was really nice. I did spend about 3 hours in editing that, and another hour this morning, but that's a whole other story. But I did have a few hours off, and I had a bit of a blitz on the house, and I just cleared out a load of stuff. I got rid of 39 cookbooks yesterday. Well, they haven't actually gone yet, because obviously charity shops aren't open, so I might go back and sneak 1 or 2 back out of the charity shop bags. Does anyone else do that? Anyway, on my bookshelf, I found dun, 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 this. And I thought, because I'm like teasing you all with all this food and Cornwall and stuff, I thought somebody out there in YouTube land might like to own this. It's beautiful. What do you think? Would you like it? I don't know how to do a competition on YouTube. Oh, look at that photo. Isn't that beautiful? That just sums up everything I love about food and outdoor cooking and Cornwall. Oh, I've got to let this cat in, man. Hang on. Well, come on then. It's cold out there. Jib, jib. Anyway, so back to the book. So I don't really know how to run a competition here on YouTube. So all I'm going to say is if you would like to be in with a chance of winning this book, and it's secondhand, but it's perfect. Like it's not grubby or anything. I promise. Just pop down into the comments and leave the word Cornwall. You can say other stuff as well if you want to, or not. You can just drop the word Cornwall, that's fine. And then what I'll do is before next Sunday's Q&A Sunday, I will take all of those names, probably print them out, cut them up, put them in a hat. I don't know. We'll work that bit out next week. Let's not stress about the details. And I will send this book anywhere in the world. And obviously this is going to have to wait until quarantine's over because I don't really think that would be an essential journey going out to the post office to post this to Timbuktu. So yeah, what do you think? Do you want it? It's beautiful. It's a really lovely book. And I probably should be keeping it. But I want one of you guys to have it. So there you go. That's it. Q&A Sunday in the bag. Now today, I believe that this is day 41 of quarantine. I think that's right. It's nuts. I don't even know. I think I've decided that I am going to keep doing dailies for as long as we are in our full-on lockdown. I am going to ease things up when we get... Oh my God. Hang on just a minute. Thank you. Hello. Doesn't everybody want a grumpy builder that delivers bacon butties to the van garden? That's the best. And he's even used that cheap Pappy White supermarket bread that I really have been looking forward to eating a bacon butty with that. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I really do have to go now, people. This is a bacon butty emergency. So go enter, drop me a comment, drop me any questions for next week. Even if quarantine is dropped in the next week, which I can't imagine it will be, but if it is, hopefully, fingers crossed, I am still going to do next Sunday's Q&A Sunday. So definitely go and drop any questions you may have about me, Johnny, Cornwall, the farm, growing veggies, chickens, ducks, pussycats, camper vans, camping. I've run out. This butty smells too good. Mustache, love you all. Take care, keep smiling, look after each other, and bye.